show produced live exclusively for our clients here at Jazz. Tonight's show is open for all, giving you a sneak peek on how we help our clients get their dough straight. So grab a glass of your favorite wine or a tasty scotch and let's get your dough straight. Enjoy the show.
Hey guys, welcome to our class here tonight. How you doing out there? Man, good to be here. You're not tired already, right? 8 o'clock on a weekday. Hope you're ready to talk about some stuff here. Learn a little bit. This class is free, of course, for all of you that want to join us tonight. It is a sneak peek into the live show that we do here every Thursday for our customers. We call it Wine and Wealth. Tonight, it's going to be bourbon, whiskey, and wealth. We're going to call it whiskey and wealth. We've got very good, very good Breckenridge bourbon. If you never had it and you like that sort of thing, phenomenal. Hey, anyways, I appreciate all of you joining me here tonight. I'm going to cover a bunch of different things here for you. I'll do like I always do. When we do these classes, our customers usually watch the replays. Not many people join us live because you guys are busy, have things going on, I get it. So what I usually do, I go through the class. I don't really take any questions. 5 or 10 minutes, I'll nail everything that I want to talk about, and then I'll stick around as long as you guys have questions, and we'll answer those. We won't make it a stock picking type night like we normally do on Thursdays, so that way I don't have to worry about getting in trouble about answering questions. I'm not supposed to get in trouble, or not supposed to answer there. So hope you got a drink, you're ready to hang out with me, and let's get started. I've got some housekeeping to cover here with you, and this is a lesson actually for everybody if you're interested in this. Been getting a lot of questions on this. The virus, the CARES Act, right? It's expired, it's done, but you still have the ability to defer your 401k loans. So this is just a bit of housekeeping because I've seen this question a lot from customers. September 29th, that's actually the last day that you have to postpone your 401k loan repayment. So if you have a loan on your 401k and you have not already, that's the loan you want to defer. Not your student loans, not your mortgage. I mean, if you're financially strapped, of course, I get it. But if you have the option to defer loans or continue to pay on them, the 401k loan is like the only one you want to do that to, because in your mortgage, in your student loans, other loans that you may be allowed to defer, you still owe that money. You still owe the interest on that money. But in a 401k loan, the interest goes to you. So if you can start repaying next year and you want to defer those loan payments to save you some money, you're strapped or whatever, that's the one that you want to focus on. And you have 180 days from the date of the CARES Act, which in this case is September 29th. So you still have that option to do that. That's housekeeping number one. Housekeeping number two, if you don't know, you're not one of our customers, we're building out our entire dojo to include account performance, our live classes, you name it, and I want to give you an update on that. If you're one of our customers, go to the dojo, go to the video library, and look at the one where we did a show and tell video where I showed you what it's all going to be. Well, we're building it, we're making great progress on it, and I had an idea the other day, could have been the whiskey talking. This is either going to be my best idea or we're going to go down in a ball of flame and glory for this idea. But let me share it with you here. I'm going to go over to the screen. First thing I want to share with you is we've got the portfolio page. So if you are participating in our funds, what we really want to do is start exposing you to how the performance is going and how we're actually doing things that we do, which we're limited to right now with Folio, which is okay. Sorry if it's a little blurry, but what we have now is this is our customer here. We just use one of the accounts to show the different portfolios of ours that they're in, and then when you click on it, you're actually able to see great detail. We're going to be further expanding this down the road, but that page is done and almost ready to roll. Super excited about that. Here's my idea. On the home page of what will be the client login, this is all 100% custom to us. We're building the entire thing. I had this bright idea last week. What if over here, customers could see the notes that I left for them? Customers could see what I wrote down after our phone call. They could see what I wrote down just in general about them. Imagine that. So if we talk and you're one of our customers, you want to change a fund, you want to do something, I have to talk you off a ledge. What if you could see the notes I left? Y'all know I keep notes on every one of you. Every action you take, every detail that you click on inside your accounts, I'm watching, I see what's going on there, and sometimes I make a note. Hey, I should call that person in a couple weeks because I don't like what they did. Hey, I should follow up with this person because they were nice to me and they told me happy anniversary, things like that. We built our CRM system, which is 100% ours. It's unique to us and everything. It's custom built here. And so I said, Charlie, he's our developer. I said, hey man, what if you just turn that around and let the customers see it? And boy, he gave me the look of like, I used to like you. And so anyways, we're experimenting with that. I want to show you what that looks like here real quick. So let's say, for example, you're logging in and we had a phone call, right? So let's say you scheduled a call with me. We talked about something. You'll be able to see this, and there's this little thing that slides over and says, do you want to view the note? And let's say you click yes. You'll actually be able to see the note that I left. We built this thing a whole 100% custom here. And if you agree or disagree or want to update, you can either email me and then eventually you'll be able to just say, hey, I want to talk, man. I don't like what you said about me or something. So can you imagine that? I just think that's the coolest thing. Imagine the stock market's falling, you call me all panicking and I type something like, have to send him some Kleenex to wipe his tears or something. Like I said, it's either a great idea or it's going to be a really bad one, but I don't care, right? I want to have that interaction. We do that here at Jazz. We're never going to be a big company that just doesn't have time for people. Anyways, that was my 2 housekeeping topics for customers. I'm sorry if you sat through that. I thank you, right? Let's get into the good stuff here tonight. All right. You know how they say when you are nearing retirement, you should probably have some cash on the sidelines, but everybody always just kind of generally says you should have cash. You should maybe have some liquid money. You should invest in some kind of bond or low volatility fund or something. Well, number one, how many years or months of cash should you have, and how'd you come up with that number? One of my pet peeves actually is when people say you should invest 10% of your income to a 401k. All right, well, how'd you come up with 10%? Nobody ever asked that, right? So today I want to expand on that a little bit, and I want to give you some data behind all of this. So hopefully you're into your 3rd or 4th sip by now, and we can dive into this. The rule is you want to have 2 years. That's my rule. You want to have 2 years of available liquid cash that does not participate in the general day-to-day fluctuations of the stock market. Now, I just sort of taught you something there. How do you pick 2 years, Dustin? Ask the question. You want to always ask people questions when it comes to your money because if you don't, someone's probably going to take advantage of you, to be honest with you, in this industry. But anyways, let's take a look. So how do we come up with 2 years? Well, we use every bit of stats that we can. I want to share a chart with you that we did in our class. And for customers, if you want to watch the whole class, you go back to December 12th, 2019 up here, or you could search the Dojo with this title here and you'll be able to see it there. This is one of the slides that I shared with them. It basically ranked every decline, 5, 10%, 15, and 20%. How often do they happen? 5% declines aren't going to scare anybody. If you had 100% of your money invested in the market and we fell 5%, you probably wouldn't even notice, really. So that happens about 3 times a year. 10% declines happen about once a year. Sometimes it feels like, sometimes they feel like they happen often, but it's once a year on average there, looking back all the way to 1949. 15% or more, 1 every 3 years, and 1 every 7 years for 20% of declines or more. However, that's a little bit different right now. What I did, so you can see what I'm talking about, is I put together a fancy chart for you, just for you guys. What we did is we said, okay, start by showing 0 as every high in the market. I don't want to go back and look at the entire market. I want you to say every time it made a new high, let's call that flat. So this is every new high in the market for the last 10 years. Now what I want to do is I want to see every drop of 10, 20% or further. What I did is I drew a line right here at 10% so that you could see how often 10% declines actually happen. Some of them you may not have even noticed actually. Here's the virus decline, which is right where we're standing right now. You have, obviously it fell 10%, it fell more than that. You go back here, you've got a more recent 10% decline. This would be October, November, December of 2018. Many people remember that. We had a great time with that. But that's a decline of 10% or more. You go back here, you've got one here, 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 and here. So looking over the last 10 years, you've actually got 7 different times that we've had a 10% decline or more, which is actually better than the statistics, right? You're supposed to have one over here. You're supposed to have 1 every year. So the fact that we've only had 7 in 10 years, either A, tells you that we are likely going to have 3 more very soon, or B, it tells you that we're just doing better than average. It was a really historic bull market and everything's great. All right, cool. So you now know you've got this decline, 10% coming. Most of us are not going to flinch at a 10% decline if we're 1 year away from retirement or 5 years into retirement. We can all handle that, right? Now, it's the other ones we're worried about, right? 55% is the average rally when you have a decline of 15% more over that next year. So if you have a decline 15% or more, right? If you go out 1 year, 55% is the average rally there. So we don't want to miss those rallies because they're very significant. And a great example is actually this one that we're living in right now. We fell 30% and we've basically recovered the whole thing so quick. So we know that we do not want to miss the rallies, but I'm talking to people that say, I don't want to get scared of them. I don't want to be pulling money out of my account during these downturns, and that means I need more money through retirement to make me last even that much longer there. So we ask the question, why do we choose 2 years to have that extra money? Well, if you haven't noticed already, go off to the right-hand side there. The average length of a decline, 20% or more, is 431 days. Round it up, let's call it 2 years. That's a problem, right? That's 2 years worth of time that you could be pulling out of your investments and therefore dwindling your total amount that's left to grow, right? If we pull out money from our investments in retirement, we want to pull out on the way up, right? So right now, people that are retired, you take out a few dollars, a lot of it's going to be growth, right? It's okay. But when the markets fall, we then want to say, okay, leave the investments. Let me go over here. I've got some cash just sitting in the bank. I'm going to go ahead and take money out of that. It's not susceptible to the movements in the market. I'm cool with that, right? So, you know you've got that 431 days. I want to break some news to you, by the way, that what you just witnessed in the market just does not happen, right? So if I go back to this guy here, this decline followed by this rally, it just doesn't happen. That is so weird that just happened in the stock market. It's been so much fun to follow on the Closing Beat show and everything, but it does not happen. So let's take a look here. We're going to pretend someone's in a 30-year retirement, and they were in that 30-year retirement going back from today's date. From 2000, coming out the end of that, to 2002, 43% drop, took 2 years. Almost perfectly. 2 years of 43% down. If you were taking money out of your investments during that time, then when it was ready to start bouncing back up, well, now you didn't grow as much. That hurts. That really hurts. But for this 2-year window, if you could be taking from cash, your investments can suffer the downturn and enjoy the full brunt of the rally there, or the greatness of the rally. Looking at 2007, 2009, we fell 47%. It was 2 years, basically, right? We're going to say 2 years again, right? But that's not what we're interested in, right? I could have just misled you. I could have just said, hey, look, markets fall on average, let's call it 2 years in one shot before recovering, so you should have 2 years worth of cash, and I believe everything that everybody else is telling you out there generally. Well, that's not right, because you're taking money out of safe cash while these investments are suffering a little bit, but we really need them to recover, right? They need to go back up before we start taking money out. So we need the 2 years to sustain the whole downturn, but then we need more time to have the market start going up. Because if we invested here, the markets fall for 2 years, we need to go back there, right? This is the number, right? So it's really the peak to peak that we're interested in. So let's take a look at that. If you were to look at that same 30-year retirement sort of window there, from the 2000 drop all the way back here, going into the next recession, that's how long it took the markets to get back to highs. 2,628 days, give or take a few days there, because I used a calculator to figure this out, right? So we need this window to work with, and that's why it's so important for you guys to save cash into the money markets or whatever you're doing. Sacrifice the dollars and do that. Be flexible with what you do. And I want to explain something here with that, just so I don't point a slide at you, because that's starting to get annoying. Average client balance here. What I did is I took a whole thing and said, how many people are within 2 to 4 years of retirement, and what's the average balance? $688,000, right? Okay, cool. So they've got $688,000. Is that enough to live on retirement? Are they going to make it? Sounds pretty close, right? Now, believe it or not, you can actually be very comfortable with that through a 30-year retirement. But let's pretend that that's borderline. You want to take out more money. You need $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 a year. Now we're cutting it close. It's very important that you have money in savings. So how do you go about doing it? Here's what I want you to think about. It's a scale. You've got a scale that's perfectly balanced when the markets are not moving. When the markets start going up, I want you to fill your savings, right? Don't fill your investment accounts. When you're 2-3 years away from retirement, Fill the savings, leave the investment accounts. If you have to put money into a 401k, you're going to stop putting money into all the other stuff you have in your 401k, and you're going to move to something guaranteed. Sacrificial funds, I call them, because you're not going to really make anything. The idea is you're sacrificing the dollars now so that when the markets fall one day, you don't have to deal with it, and you're going to be better off than everybody else. So when the markets are going up, I want you to fill your savings, stop your 401ks and Roth IRAs, things like that. When the markets start going down, I want you to fill the investments and stop filling your savings. You're going to do that for the 2 to 3 years leading up to your retirement. By the time you get to retirement, no matter where the market's at, you've got a thick savings, 2 years or so. You're going to have a nice thick, it was this way. You're going to have a thick savings and you're going to have your 401k and stuff right where it needs to be. That's the game plan that you're playing. Sounds super simple. It's really hard to do in practice, but that's the game plan that you want to follow as you're getting near retirement. So, practical sort of lesson, right now, what would you be doing? If you had 2 years left until you retired, more money should be going into your savings because the markets are moving higher. Let the money that you've done everything to work your whole life for, the 688,000 average that we have here, let that keep going. It's doing fine, right? Just let it keep going. But new dollars, I need you to save them, right? So that was my lesson there for the night, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'll take a quick drink here, and then I'll take some of your questions if you have any questions, and I appreciate you guys hanging out and checking out our new Dojo thing, too. I'm telling you, I can't sleep. I'm so excited about what's going to be in that. I can't sleep. I just can't. Can't even sleep there. Halcyo, welcome. How you doing, sir? I like that he calls me captain. I don't know what I'm a captain of, but I like it. You're about to hit the next dollar amount when your fees go down. Congratulations. Yep, it does it automatically, by the way. So we work on a tiered system here. If you're not one of our customers, just go to our website. You can see how we charge based on your account size. And as your account crosses those next thresholds, it shows up. It just automatically changes for you going that way. What I'd love to work on is the ability to make that a celebration. Make that something that you can actually see and be excited about. Whereas right now, it just changes on your statement. You can see it, of course, but there's no fireworks, right? It should be something to be celebrated. But great job. Great job, great job. That's basically all I have for you, by the way, in terms of the lessons and stuff. This is now the point where I usually take questions and stick around and just try to help out with what I can. 600 grand's more than enough? I would agree. Now, 600 grand is not enough to buy an RV every 5 years, to do a lot of traveling internationally, and still take out 40 to 50,000. That's a stretch. That's something we'd have to work through. But yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yep. I love it. It's Dustin. Yep. When does it make sense to max out a 401k? Some people have to because of their income. So one time that it really makes sense to max out your 401k is if you make $230,000 adjusted gross income each year, right? And you still want to contribute to a Roth IRA. You might need to use the 401k to bring your income in line. There's a whole thing there, but maybe something like that would look at it. Also, if you have a Roth 401k, by no means, I'd go for it. You know, I'm talking about the traditional 401k. Yep. When you talk about putting that 2 to 3 years of savings away before retirement, you mean high yield savings, accounts, bonds, tents, or what? Right now, high yield savings is sort of a funny joke, right? It's not a real word. It's not as great as it used to be. It'll come back. It'll be great. In the meantime, you know this. What we've done is we created our low volatility fund. We didn't create it. We're just using it at the bottom of our website. The low volatility fund is designed to do nothing. It's the first and I think only fund on the planet to not move. We don't want it to move. It'll fluctuate a little bit, but we don't want it to move. The reason we don't want it to move is because we're treating it as if it's a savings account. We're going for the yield, 2.15, 2.35, etc. But we don't want to take any risk with that money. If you look on the, well, I know you know about it, but if you want to, if you're just hearing that for the first time, just check it out on our website. That's our goal of that one. And for fun, can I go like this to make this a little easier to spot? Because I'm missing a whole bunch here. I'm sorry if I missed your question there. I will try to scroll back as I can. You think your question was based on how if the fee fluctuates, is the... No, you can't go backwards. J-Dub, great question. If you make it to, let's say, I got $251,000 and Jazz is going to charge me the 0.5%, and then the market crashes and you go 249. You don't go backwards. That's why I said we should celebrate it because it's something to be excited about. We're not going to then take away the celebration and say, you can pay us more. That would be sneaky though. You know, it would be something sneaky you could do. Yep. If you have a Fidelity account through work, can you transfer to Jazz? If it's a 401k or something like that, and you're still working at the company, probably not. You can ask them, but 93 to 99% of the time, they're going to say no, especially if they contribute dollars to it, right? They don't want you to take away from it there. Yeah, I love it. Folio charges a fee. Well, actually, so everything's included. Maybe it was a mistake on my part, but what I don't like is companies that say it costs this for the fund, this because you're here, this because we talked 10 times, this for an email. I don't like that. So what we did is we just combined everything and said, that's what it costs to work with us there. On your statement, some of it does go to Folio. We have to put that in there and show you that. We don't get to keep all of it, of course, but yeah, that is the way it's presented, but they make some of our dollars as well. Hopefully that was all your question, because it just went way off the page. Yes, it was. I love it. Can you talk at one-time IRA transfer to an HSA? Oh, I think you're saying, do you want to take your traditional IRA and put it in an HSA? No. Buying a house with your 401k money in 1.5 years, should I take that money out of the market now? Why are you buying a house with your 401k? Are you just done? The house is gonna pay for your retirement? Or is it a small portion of your 401k? I hope so. I don't like to see that too much, but yeah, 1.5 years, you now know you probably should have it at least invested safely or more conservatively. Yeah, but hopefully you can just save some money and not use your 401k. Yep. Using your 401k to drop a tax bracket. Oh, to reduce your taxable income? Yeah, of course. Oh, yeah. Is it a bad idea for all of my stocks to be only in the tech sector? I know it's riskier, but could you give me some greater return on my money? Right? It's a bad idea when the tech sector starts to fall. Yeah. Is it a bad idea now? Well, it's hard to argue with that. You're probably doing pretty well. But it's a bad idea when that sort of air comes out of the tech sector. So yeah, long term, it's a tough one to stick with. If you can grin and bear it, I certainly guess you can. Yeah. Jason says, if you cannot refinance to a lower interest rate and you have the cash to pay off your home at... Oh, did I miss your question? Or are you just saying that? You don't want to refinance, or you can't, and you just want to pay off your house? All right. Yeah, why not? Do you have anything else that is a higher interest rate, like consumer debt or anything that may save you some money by paying that off first? That'd be one question I have for you. Hey, Dustin, are these classes included in a $13 subscription? Oh, no, these classes are not. They can't. Some of them I was able to go through and say, well, we didn't talk about anything specific there, so we could put that there. Typically at this point in the class, while we're doing this, the questions are from customers are get specific. And so then I'm able to give specific advice. We talk about stocks and things specifically, when to buy and sell and things like that. And I get in a lot of trouble if I try to do that publicly. So it's not because I don't want to, I can't. Some of them every now and then I can include, like this one, but yeah, you're going to get me in trouble. Yeah. What's the point of putting money into a Spider ETF? Well, so Spider is the sort of model of. There's the make is the company, I guess. The model would be the brand that they have, the Spider different funds. They've got a whole bunch of them, so I'm not sure what you mean there. They all definitely move, so maybe you just have a bond one that's not moving or something at the moment. I'm not sure. You live in Japan, you just signed up. Yeah, we have customers all over the world. You just have to be, obviously, a U.S. citizen or what they call a resident alien. I hate that term. But yeah, you could be living elsewhere. We have customers in Germany. I have one, he's still at it's two of them now, I think. They're at the South Pole, just doing research or whatever. So we don't get to talk often, but yeah, certainly can. Yeah. Dustin, do you have an investment instrument that you absolutely hate? I wouldn't say I absolutely hate it. I just hate how it's presented. When annuities are presented to young folks or the older crowd that has enough money for retirement, I don't like that. So that would probably be on my list. But they have their place, but they're marketed, unfortunately, to people that usually don't need them. But yeah, you got 25K for one stock. Okay, come on. Just give it to me. Just give it to me. No, I'm just kidding. Do you think it's better to invest on a Roth 401k or traditional? Well, that's a tough one, right? It depends on how old you are. Obviously, lots of things. But if you're like really close to retirement, I mean, you could use the traditional 401k. Sorry. But that's a tough one to answer with just that information. If you're really young, then I always say go with the known versus the unknown. And we know what tax rates are now. We don't know what they'll be in the future. Therefore, by using a Roth, you're kind of, hopefully eliminating that concern for the future. So that'd be my best answer there. Yep. How many stocks would you recommend in a personal account for diversification? Doesn't matter. With fractional shares these days, you're not limited to your buying power or to how much available capital you have. It's a matter of how much do you want to engage with the markets. Some people don't really have a lot of time, but they have fun doing it. They buy a stock here or there and that's it. Other people intend to and try to build their own portfolios that take on this own life and speed and volatility themselves. So you may need 100 different stocks to do that. It really depends on the individual. Yeah, there's no wrong answer these days. Alex says, is sure there's a method to my madness. Yeah, you know it. One day I'll share it with you guys. Do you have a class that teaches you how you position your different funds? Yeah, that's actually, we do. Yeah, so there's, they're going to be you're going to sort by geeky in the dojo, the different classes there, sort by geeky. And one of the things that we're doing is why we're building out the dojo the way we are is because I don't want to be one of those guys that's like, save for retirement, you got to put some dollars away. Congratulations, you put enough away. I want to be the guy that's like, look, this is how this works. Your account moved this way today because of all the different, outside factors pushing against it. So I want to make that more of the education. Some people don't like that, but I think most of you are up for it. So that's what, that is definitely in the works. Sorry. I think you guys are talking to each other there. I like it. I love it. In my opinion, my company doesn't have a 401k. As of now, you're maxing out the Roth. Just open a bridge account, contributing the same amount to that. Does that seem like a decent plan? No, because you didn't mention anything about dollars, your strategy there. I don't like the idea of someone just saying bridge account, Roth account, a few dollars here, a few dollars there. You can do better. And I'm not saying it has to be with me. You could certainly go work with somebody or have a planner or anything, but you got to be more detailed than that. And maybe you are, and that's all you were able to type, but I don't like that as just a general, yep, you're good to go, have a great day. Yep. You wish I could talk with you. Not that I know everything, just my experience. You had 4 awful advisors who lost me money or made you nothing. Ouch. Okay. I don't like to hear that. Maybe it's you. I'm just kidding. That's the Breckenridge talking. That's a tough one. Yeah, you burned once, you try again, you burn twice, you go something's wrong, you burn 3 times, you start to hate the whole thing. I don't blame you. I guess the only thing I could say to that is we don't hide how you're invested. So you're able to walk with me day by day. If something starts to seem off, I can either show you why that is with you looking at the same sort of thing that I have, or we can work together to figure out what do you have a bad taste in your mouth there. But if you, at 4 times working and having bad experiences, if you're already past that point of even talking to somebody, I get it. I'm just happy you're watching. But that's what we try to do a little different here, is just actually have the customer see everything like we do. I mean, you can even see, the different sort of metrics we have. We're going to build it all in the dojo as well. So if our weighting is off by 2%, and I now teach you guys that we want to be 1.5% or less off our weightings, you'll actually see the change and things like that. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I don't know anybody that does that either, because people try to keep it like a secret sauce. And there's things that we'll do with the portfolios that naturally I wouldn't teach, right? Because if you teach too much, then people will just go do it. But it's not the kind of thing you could just teach one time and somebody's like, I got it, I'm going to go do it. Yeah, it takes a lot of effort. So I would love to be able to actually show that sort of thing. And like I said, that's the kind of cool stuff we're building out now that we have the ability to do that. Yep. What would be a good idea to hedge your retirement account if you're all in stocks? See, I never understood that question, and I'll take a few more questions and then we'll go on from there. But I never understood the question of how do you hedge a portfolio? Hedges cost money. So if you're 100% in stocks and you want to hedge 20% of your portfolio, why don't you just get out of 20% of your portfolio and put it in a money market fund or simply cash? So that part I don't get. Hedges cost money, and if your hedge is not timed correctly, it costs even more money. So if you're really worried, why don't you just go to cash, at least for now. I mean, maybe you want to pay to hedge in some way, but I think the best hedge is just to say there's a concern that you have that something's going to happen. You want to hedge 20%, shave off 20%. And if you can, while you're at it, try to wash out some of your capital gains if it happens to be in an individual account. You keep having an insurance agent telling me that whole life insurance is the secret to wealth. Is that true? Wow, I learned something tonight too. Cheers. Secret to wealth. Whole life insurance. Wow. Wow, if that was the secret to wealth, I probably wouldn't be doing this class right now. No, look, an insurance agent, I don't badmouth them at all, but when your job is to sell insurance products, some people that are good, honest business people, they begin to really feel that that's important. Meaning they sort of think like catastrophe is going to happen more often than not, and that's just the nature of the beast, right? They're around that all day. I can imagine like a nurse that specializes in nephrology probably thinks that people don't drink enough water and therefore they drink a lot of water. So I'm not trying to say that they're bad people for suggesting that to you, but it's probably the mindset that they're what they're surrounded by. No, it's not the secret to wealth, is the short answer. How do you transfer shares in a taxable account to a Roth? Some places don't allow it. I think many places don't allow it. It's technically possible to do, but it's a bit of a nightmare for most companies. So you'd have to ask the brokerage firm that you're at, can you do that and move shares as a contribution? I'm going to say 99.9% chance that they're going to say, no, it's not allowed. Sell the shares, transfer the cash. Now, you can do that. You can certainly move cash, no problem. $1,000 in your brokerage account, you want to move it to your Roth. Yeah, we do that a lot, actually. Thanks, Don. Thank you, Don. You talk about taking the 2 years of cash from your retirement account, the years before you retire versus building your cash in the 2 years. I don't know the question there. Sorry, keep talking about taking the 2 years of cash from your retirement account. I don't know. Try it again. Help me out with that one. Oh, thanks, Andrew. I appreciate that. I love it. For the notes, will we see all the notes since we opened the account or just now moving forward? Well, right now you don't see anything, so to be fair, there's nothing there. What I want to make it is a back and forth sort of thing. So right now, notes that I would have on you are risk profile. Anytime I would have notes if you are an active participant. I would have notes on you if you check often, if you're a weekly deposit type person. That's really not that interesting. For someone like you, we have conversed many times. What that can be is I can go back and then just say, make Don able to see that. That's something that I wrote down about Don in particular, or he was supposed to come by and he never came by. He gave me some excuse. So, things like that are in there, you would just flip it around. But the ultimate goal is to see those notes and then have you be able to make a note as well. Ultimately, to be really fancy, just to be honest with you, I want you guys to be able to assign a task to me as well. I want to be able to work together where I assign you a task to give me some information so I can work up a plan or whatever it is. And then in turn, maybe you assign a task to me to turn on a feature or to check your nest egg or to help with a bank deposit or something. How awesome. I think that'd be so much fun. It's going to be a nightmare. I know it. Trust me, I know what I'm asking for here, but God, I think it would be so cool. Can you share the daily closing beat deck on the Dojo? What's a deck? You share your daily closing beat deck. If you mean like the notes that I use, you don't want to see those. I do use a cheat sheet. It's a whole entire thing that's worked out, and it's a lot of just a couple letters just so I remember what I'm talking about. So that wouldn't be all that impressive, I don't think. But Charlie, if you're still paying attention out there, Charlie, what about being able to add a file just to see the file? I get that question a lot. Let's see if you're still paying attention. All right, I'll take a few more and then we'll wrap it up here. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed what we're doing here. What's your thoughts on using a pension lump sum for your cash in retirement? Depends on what they're paying out, right? So there are times where it's better to take the payment versus the lump sum. That depends on, everyone's a little bit different, depends on how good of a pension you got there. So I can't say there's a great general answer. And you know, obviously you could tell there's a reason there are no pension videos from me, because it's really more of an individual thing. That would be a recipe for lots of angry comments. Can your business help a qualified investor obtain shares in a privately held company such as SpaceX? If you could, then yes, we could. I believe if you don't even have to be qualified for a lot of them. If you go into your account, your folio account, go up to the top right and click on private placement, you can see all the available options at the moment. They're really good about that. That one updates quite a bit. There's a lot of them in there, but not SpaceX. No, because they're not doing that. Yeah, they probably will at some point. You see, they're going to build a space resort out in Texas. Yeah, I'm going. And I'll be there. So I'm assuming they're going to need to raise a little bit of money at some point. I think the intro... Oh, the British guy? Yeah, I love that, man. And to tell you where I got that from, I was at a 21 Pilots concert. Yeah, I'm a young guy, right? I went with my daughter. And before they started the show or somewhere, there was this British guy that said, hello and welcome. And I'm like, I need that guy. Where's that guy? I want that guy to make me a clip. So that gave me the idea. If you're familiar with the 21 Pilots, or if I just made myself look like some dork, I'm sure that ship has long sailed. Have I written a book? No, I've not written. I've read a lot of them, but not going to be writing a book. Yep. If someone makes over $100,000, can they have a Roth? Yeah, if they're married filing jointly, both of you can have a Roth, no problem. If you're married filing jointly. I love it. How many people are on it? 6 of us here. Yeah, we're not. I mean, I don't pretend to be bigger than we are. 6 of us here. How often do you take a peek at the portfolios? Well, a lot, pretty much every day. And a lot of times on the closing beat, I'm mentioning stocks and stuff. Sometimes I say we own them, sometimes I don't. But a lot of times it's to give you updates publicly on what's going on there and also talk about what's going on. But because I'm participating as well, you know I'm always sitting here looking at it. And by the way, you've never seen me do anything else, right? One day, like I tell people, I'll find a hobby and then I'll go do that. Maybe for a little bit, but for now, I'm here every day, always looking. I love it. Yeah, that was cool. That SpaceX thing, I think that's pretty cool. I mean, it's brilliant too. I mean, I'll give him that. I will wrap it up there. Of course, if I tried to pick out the names that I recognize, of course, to make sure customers got the help there as well. If you are a customer and I did miss your question, if you happen to have one, shoot me an email. I'm always around. And I know that's always asking for a lot of emails, but what else do I have to do? I love helping. And for the rest of you, I hope you learned something. Just a quick, well, not really a quick class, but I hope you learned something. We'll do this again in the future. I don't do it often, but just kind of made sense for this topic that it would fit. And so I hope you were able to learn something. Maybe you'll hit the subscribe button if you're not a customer. That helps us do that. We're almost to 100,000, guys, right? Not that I think I saw the other day. I don't know where we're at, but we're getting there. I like it. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me this evening, and we'll see you tomorrow for the closing beat.